This is the new Audi Q3 Sportback, and as you can see, this is a Q3 with a dropping coupe roofline. Now, honestly, when I first came to know about it, I thought this is just a marketing gimmick and it's not going to work in our country. But I have to say I've changed my mind now, especially after driving this car for a couple of days. And I think this is currently the best entry-level luxury SUV that you can buy in the country. Now, why do I think so? Well, here are my top 5 reasons. Now, the first reason is, of course, its design and style. Now, this is a cool looking car. This is a coupe SUV, and I think Audi has done a really great job in terms of designing this car because it definitely stands out from the regular Q3. And it's not just the rakish roofline that's changed here. There are a lot more design elements which are different from the regular Q3. Now, for instance, this gets the S-Line package. So in terms of aesthetics, it's been refined and it looks more modern and more stylish for sure. At the front, the grille is different. It has got a mesh pattern grille, which looks quite cool as compared to the chrome slats on the regular version. Now, the alloy wheels also, these are still 18-inch in size, but they look quite upmarket and they look stylish compared to the plain Jane and boring design on the regular Q3. It has got the same wheelbase, but yeah, like I said, it looks very sporty. And also this paint, this turbo paint scheme, I think it really stands out. It pops out when you drive it on the road. Now, around the back, it has got that slanting roofline, and this is its party piece. And I think, for me personally, I really love the design of this car because it feels very proportionate. It has that stubby back, and compared to the regular Q3, I'd still say from the back, it has a typical RS car-like appearance, especially these haunches around here. You can see them in the rearview mirrors when you're driving, and they look really muscular. So it has that styling element, and it is very cool. So I think that for me is one of the top reasons to buy this car over the standard Q3 or any of its other rivals. Reason number 2, features, practicality, and the overall design and layout of this interior. Now, this is a typical Audi cabin. It is minimalistic, but it's laden with all the latest technology that you want in a car of this size and in this segment. It has got that Audi virtual cockpit display, which looks fantastic. This 10-inch touchscreen is also fabulous to use. And overall, the sense of luxury is there. It feels very premium. It feels very cutting edge. And everything here feels high quality. Now, of course, you've got all the features. It has got Android Auto. It has got Apple CarPlay. And in terms of comfort also, this car, the seats, everything are very large and accommodating. So really enjoy driving this car. And most importantly, on an everyday basis, this is a very easy car to live with. Everything falls in place very easily. All the controls, everything is very nice about this car. So the feel-good factor of this cabin, I think that's one of the main reasons why this car will be a hit, because again, it is like the standard Q3, at least from the front. So that means everything is very well engineered and everything is practical and everything is well thought out. And you've also got these physical AC controls over here, very intuitive, very easy to use. So everything in this car in terms of practicality and comfort feels absolutely spot on. It feels very light, it feels very effortless, and it is very easy to live with. And what's more, in terms of space also, it's not a compromise, because if you sit at the back, it's nearly as spacious as the standard Q3 because it's the same size. Now, you might think because of that coupe roofline, it eats into the headspace, but that's not the case. Especially for me, I had decent headspace even back there, and I think it's as spacious and there's no compromise to be made on that front. So yes, the headroom is slightly lesser than what you'd get in the regular Q3, but is it a deal breaker? Well, not really. Similarly, the boot space is identical at 530 liters. So on that front also, you're covered. So this is just as good as the regular Q3, but on the outside, it looks so stylish and it definitely stands out. So to sum it up, this is still a coupe SUV on the outside, but on the inside, there are no real compromises to be made. Reason number 3 is the engine performance and ride and handling. Now I've clubbed it together because overall this car feels very light and very effortless to drive. Now first of all, the engine and performance, it comes with a familiar 2-liter TFSI motor, produces 187 bhp, 320 Nm of torque, and it is plenty quick. It can do 0 to 100 in 7.3 seconds. So you're not going to get bored here sitting behind the wheel of this car. It is very quick and the acceleration is quite great. Now, again, in daily driving conditions, you're going to love this engine and gearbox combination. The 7-speed DSG is also snappy with its shifts, and in manual mode, it's even more fun to use. The gearbox is quite obedient in that sense. What you might not enjoy is the low-speed judder that the DSG gearbox is famous for, or infamous for. But other than that, I can't really find any flaws with this engine and gearbox combination. Yes, of course, if you are a sophisticated luxury car buyer, you might think the engine noise is a little on the higher side, but I find it to be a little sporty and raspy as you hit higher RPMs. So I personally love it. I don't have any complaints in that regard. Now, next up, you have the ride and handling. Now, I think Audi is one of the few manufacturers that gets the ride and handling balance spot on, and that has not changed in the Q3 Sportback. It feels exactly similar to the Q3 because the setup is exactly the same. There's no fancy bits and bobs here. The suspension is standard steel springs, and it doesn't even get adaptive dampers. You have got driving modes here which can change the steering, transmission and engine behavior, but on the suspension part there's nothing fancy in here. Having said that, the ride quality is brilliant. It goes over bumps, bad roads very comfortably, and it feels bulletproof in that regard. You're sitting in here, it's very comfortable to drive every day in the city. And what I really love about this car as a whole is that how effortless and easy it feels to drive every day. Especially the visibility out of the cabin is phenomenal. Every day you're driving it in the city, you can squeeze through gaps. It feels like a small car to drive. So for me, these are the things that make the Q3 Sportback probably the best car in this segment. I think overall, if I have to sum up the driving experience of the Q3, I'd say that it feels very nice and engaging in a very relaxing manner. It doesn't feel like a sharp car. It's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but this is nice, engaging and relaxing in a different way. And I think in daily driving conditions, that's what you want your luxury SUV to be. Reason number 4, this is not a 4 SUV. This gets all-wheel drive quattro system. Now, of course, it's not a proper all-wheel drive system. It is primarily a front-wheel drive, but among all its rivals, this is the only car that's available with all-wheel drive in a petrol engine. So it's not a compromise on that front. Of course, the grip is phenomenal, and even if you take it off-road, it has also got an off-road mode. It is quite decent actually. It's not that bad. So this is definitely an SUV, not a hardcore SUV, but this has got all-wheel drive system, and it is Audi's legendary quattro. So on that front, this car has an edge over its rivals, and I think for that reason also you should consider it because it has got that added capability. And finally, what seals the deal is the pricing, because at 51.43 lakh ex-showroom, this only costs a lakh more than the standard Q3. And considering everything that this car brings to the table in comparison to the regular Q3, well, I think that is a very small premium to pay. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 reasons to pick the Audi Q3 Sportback over everything else in its segment. But there's more to the story. You see, the Q3 Sportback isn't perfect in a lot of areas. For instance, it misses out on a lot of features. No panoramic sunroof, no wireless connectivity for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, no ventilated seats, no 360-degree camera even, and the quality of plastics is questionable in some places. Honestly, I would have looked past these shortcomings had it not been 2023. But today, even mass market cars have a superior feature list than this Audi. So, whether it matters to you or not, it just doesn't feel right somehow in this day and age. All said and done though, I still think the Q3 Sportback brings the best balance of everything. It's a jack of all trades in the true sense of the term. And for that reason alone, it is still the entry-level luxury SUV of my choice.